Yeah, hello everybody. May peace be with you. May peace be with us all tonight. Welcome to our next collective soul retrieval, fifth already. Um, yeah, something very joyful in that.
Mhm.
And this soul retrieval will be about collective feminine energy. We will look at where that has become distorted, or why the divine manifestation of the feminine, may not be fully able to express itself in the collective, in the world, in our societies. What is holding the expression back of the divine feminine? That's what we're looking at tonight, what we will journey for. Yeah. So, welcome if you're tuning in. And I'm gonna hand over who will lead us into before we go into the journey itself.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you, brother. And just with that said, that if you feel a desire to get to know more on the divine feminine energy beforehand, and if you've not done so already, then you're very welcome to watch our transmission, which will be online at this time as well, which is a nice opener before you enter the field. And you don't have to. So, personal choice. We all have free will. All right. So if you are nice and comfortable, I hope so. If not, please make yourself comfortable. It's very handy, hoping that you will not be disturbed at this time, moving a little bit your body so that anything that feels stuck or rigid can move a little bit to get some nice flow. Our bodies are not meant to sit for a very long time, so it's nice to really allow it to move however you would like, just making your fingers go whichever way they would want to move. See if one hand is a bit more fluid than the other, or even massaging your face or your body for a little while. And we're doing this just so that we can activate our physical body when we are going into an inner journey, that our body is not detached from us or from whatever we are experiencing, but that it is in contact with us at all times, and that the information and energy may land in the body, and that it may not float around our heads at all times, which will cause a headache most of the time. Yeah, so with that said, if you are comfortable, you've lit a candle for yourself, have some water if needed. And I invite you to close your eyes so that you can go deeper inside, to connect yourself to your breathing, this pattern that's going in through the nose or mouth, going out through the nose or mouth, whichever way you are comfortable. And that with each and every breath, you can explore your inner landscape. And we may start with how deep is our breathing at this moment in time. Am I breathing all the way to my pelvic floor, into my feet? Or is my breathing a little higher? And remind yourself that with each and every breath that you are taking, that you may land a little bit more in your body, in your vessel that you have chosen for this life, and that we may honor that today. That is through this body that we may experience our lives fully, that we may enjoy it, that we may touch and feel, that we can be sensual and sexual, that we may express our life force more fully. Thank you, dear body, for honoring us with that gift, and thank you, our breath, for sustaining us, providing us with this vital life force energy. And from that place, I invite you to enter your legs and pelvic floor a little more. These legs of us that help us to be here, to walk, to move from point A to point B. And try to allow your breathing to enter your legs and your pelvic floor just a little bit more. And with every in-breath, you are diving deeper into that place in your body, opening it, loving it. And on every out-breath, that you are expelling any lower frequency that is there, which is not serving you at this time. That you may go through the pelvic floor, through your legs, into your calves, into your feet, and into your toes. That with each and every breath, you are opening your body a little bit more, and you are also paying attention that you are opening every single aspect of your body, and your lower body especially. Whether that is your womb, your uterus, your genital organs, pelvic floor, legs, knees, your calves, your shins, ankles, feet, and toes. The base that is holding us at all times, at all times. And while you allow yourself to sink even deeper and deeper into that base, that you are guided by your own breathing, I will set the field for this soul retrieval. And with that said, I am inviting the energy of the East to come online, to enter this space, our energetic space, which is online, to hold that space, to love us, honor us, to teach us what it's like to enter a phase of new beginnings. And for that energy, we humbly invite the eagle and condor to aid and guide us with that, to show us the way, to show us a new perspective, to take our prayers and intentions up into the sky towards the great Creator. Thank you, dear energy of the East, for always being there for us. Thank you for holding us and loving us. May there be peace in the East. Out. Moving on, opposite direction, going towards West, place of death and rebirth. So we are slowly inviting the energy of the West to come more into our energetic space online. That we humbly invite it and ask it to honor us, to love us, to guide us, to hold us, to teach us how to die consciously so that we may be reborn anew. That we may invite the energy of sacred destruction so that we can create ourselves once more. And for this, we humbly invite the energy of the Black Panther and the Brown Bear to aid and guide us with that. Thank you, dear energy of the West, for holding us and loving us. May there be peace in the West. Oh. Moving on towards the South, place where the sun is at its highest, spiritual ecstasy, living your life to the fullest. Love, union, bliss. So we humbly and slowly invite the energy of the South to come more into our being and into this energetic space online. That we may humbly ask the South to hold us, guide us, and love us, to teach us what it's like to live our lives to the fullest. That we do not have to hold anything back, that we can be here now as we are in our light, honoring and loving our shadow at all times. That we may feel whatever there is to feel here in the South. For that, we humbly invite the energy of the snake and the wolf to aid and guide us. And thank you, dear South, for loving us, holding us, and guiding us. We are your true friends, as you are our companion, as always. May there be peace in the South. I hope. Moving on opposite directions, going towards the energy of the North. So we very slowly invite this energy to take its place in our bodies and in this energetic space online. The energy of silence, mystery, the unknown, and of peace. Dear North, please hold us in silence. Please love us as we love you. Please show us how to be with the unknown, that something new may spontaneously emerge from the mystery which is life. And for that, we humbly invite the white buffalo. We invite the hummingbird to come online to show us the way on how to do so. Thank you, dear energy of the North, for holding us and loving us. We are your forever friends. As we are your companion. May there be peace in the North. Aho. Then we move to center point as we dive deeper into the earth. So we are connecting with the Earth Mother and her needs. Oh. And let us honor her for one moment, how vast she is. Just to imagine how big the earth is that we are walking upon. What a concept that is, to fully grasp her vastness, her space, her lusciousness of the forests, of the waters. How she is always there to guide us, to love us. How she holds us when we are in good health and in bad health. How we may experiment here upon her, as she has given us free rein to do whatever we may please to do, so that we may experiment and find God within us once more. Dear Earth Mother, please hold us and please love us during this soul retrieval. Please show us the way when we are lost. Please hold us when things are tough. Thank you so much, for we are your forever friends and your companions. May there be peace on, in, and outside of the earth. Amen. From that, we are going up into the sky, entering the world above, place of great central sun, place of our ancestors that have made their star journey before us, place of grandmother moon, who is the one, the leader, of all women in the world, who shows them the way, that we may honor her especially today. And that we honor grandfather sun for providing us with its light, so that we may live comfortably here, with good temperature. If the sun would not be there, then we would not be there. So thank you, dear sun. So dear world above our heads, please hold us, guide us, and love us. Please lead us on our way. Please grant us an update of who we are in truth, of what the divine feminine energy is in truth. Please allow us to receive that update in our bodies, in ourselves, and that we may implement that into the earth matrix once more. Thank you, dear world above. We are your forever friends and companions. May there be peace in the sky. Amen. And from there, we move down into center point. Place that binds all directions. Above and below, east, west, south, north. Place of Wakantanka, the great spirit, the great mystery, that which is so great it cannot be named. The place of God, Allah, Yahweh, science, AI, the heart, whatever you wish to call this place. The glue that holds the universe together, of which we are all origin of, of which we all are a part of. I am that I am, the energy which describes this place. Dear center point, please be gentle with us, for we come in peace. We come in peace, and we aim to please, to serve creation, to bow down deeply, to her, to him, to us all. Thank you, dear Creator, for holding us and loving us. Oh. And when that feels set, I humbly invite a circle of ascended masters to stand around us, to hold the space. And I feel the energy of Inanna that wants to come online, so that I may invite that fiery goddess to teach us, to love us, and to guide us, to show us the way. That all that may transpire within this field is in the highest good and in alignment of all beings, dark or light, in alignment with all creation, serving the highest good of all and of the one Creator. For this soul retrieval, I invite our higher selves to show us the way, to grant us that download of divine feminine energy in our bodies this moment in time. That it may enter our hearts, that it may enter our wombs, and that we may connect that deeply into the earth matrix. Oh. Whew. So, and with the field set, that this collective soul retrieval may commence. However it wishes to unfold, please show us the ways of mystery, that we may follow the thread, and that we may honor her ever so deeply. Oh.
Oh, brother. Thank you. Fisha akafoin na intum. Klamdau sumbortim inana taisho fortam. Hrawainono humbais. Kravananaisan tartakaona. Vrimanda nayasharta lanangiam honto. Krakiamata tayo sumbor tuchivei. Lumno tuit skemerenene io komas. Prakau toto isam. Lekyamahanda tayo sukum paitoto omarayana tadacha. Krakenenekeu. Vertacio como modian articio colompoi tanaikor tanta itsem verteki estoko frakatam skaita. Krawano otoits kemerenen sukurta. Klavashender tuno ongama tatayasa. Kravaino non notoish. Lukumba tatais.
When you are speaking, nice to feel that frequency because it opens up many images in my mind.
Okay.
Where I am connected to different circles of women through different ages and times. A very tribal, one from the Essene, the Egyptians, Lemurians, Avalonians, and Atlanteans. And what I see here is a circle of 12 women that are standing there with a 13th woman who is not physically present, but more a light in the sky, which is beaming down into the earth or into the fire that's in the middle. It's nice when you are expressing this frequency that you just did. So you are really inviting these circles of women to co-create with us as keepers of the divine feminine energy, or even of rose lineage, whatever you may call that. That this frequency is so deeply invited through your words. So thank you for that. Mm.
You're welcome. I was just expressing words, but it's nice
Yeah.
to hear what it does for you.
Yeah.
And I do resonate on what you say. So, um, and I was also already before you were ready with the meditation introduction, I was already seeing an image, and the image is of the resurrection tomb of Jesus.
Mhm.
You know, the tomb he was brought to, I don't know where or what the name of that was, but in the image that I have, it's like on a little bit of a hill, a very big stone that can be rolled over by a couple of people, you know, and then in there, I call it a resurrection chamber. That's what it's, that's the name that pops up to me. You know, because in scripture it will be more of a grave, of course, but it doesn't feel so much like a grave, but rather like a resurrection chamber. It makes me think then of the Essenes as well. Again, you know, the this mystery of being able to regenerate your body, and live hundreds of years if you want, if you really want that, if that's also your soul's purpose and desire.
Mhm.
And as I enter that, or as I am in that resurrection chamber looking, there's a young woman, I'd say perhaps end of her teens, beginning of her 20s, um, with very dark hair, who's just clothed in rags, like brown rags, almost like potato sacks around her. And she's just sulking in the corner, really just sitting there and sulking.
Mhm.
Almost, it, it's not even that she's scared, it's just deep despair, really. Deep despair. And even my presence there, I think she registers it, but she's not phased by it. She's just in that deep despair and nothing immediately gets her out. And there's a sort of, I call it an altar, but you can lay on it, right? It's made to lay on
Mhm.
with white cloth on it, almost as if somebody disappeared on it, you know,
Mhm.
as if there was a woman also laying there and she just ascended, if you will. That kind of vibe I get from this image. And then that, for me, that ties into the 13th woman that you were describing in these circles of women that you were seeing. It's one more etheric or not so physical woman. That's what you saw, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, almost as if she's just sulking and depressed over the fact that this woman left.
Mhm.
And I'm a bit in dubio about whether or not it was supposed to be like that, that she vanished, left.
Mhm.
Right. Right. So that as an introduction. Curious then how that lands in you, or what it sets on.
What I just notice in myself is that when you're speaking, my heart softens and softens and softens more and more.
Yeah.
And I can feel it opening in my, it's like my midline is so very slowly opening more. Mm. Which is a very physical sensation. Mm. Yeah, and I don't know why. But I just got an image of a sphinx,
Huh?
which feels somehow unrelated to what you were saying, but also not unrelated. So I'm a bit like, what's going on there? Um, yeah.
Feels like the same period of time in the different place
Mm. Yeah.
somehow.
I just noticed that I'm looking at the image. It's like, what is happening there?
Of the Sphinx or the image that I just described?
Both.
Both, okay.
Sphinx feels a bit darker than what you are describing. That feels more in the light. When I move towards the Sphinx, I'm like, oh, that's a little bit more distortion in that field.
Yeah,
Yet they are linked with one another.
yeah,
Similar circumstance, 13 women with one not being there physically. The fire is bigger at the Sphinx, but also a bit more ominous and it's darker. So as I am looking at your image, it's more in the light. So where I am looking from, it's more entering like the dawn. Yeah. And it's a bit secretive in a way. I'm looking at it. I'm not allowed to get too close. I can see what is I can't really see what is exactly happening there, but something is happening there. Something is moving. I'm not allowed to see exactly what that is moving. As if I am looking at it from a distance. Hmm. And it feels as if these two images, as if they are on top of one another, if that makes sense. So there's one and there is another, as if they're both squished through time and a little line is running through them, which creates as a portal. So something happens here, it happens there, as if they are continuously influencing them, even though it is in a different place and different time.
Do you see then the image that I described above the other? Because for me, when you say that, I just hear the resonance of our bodies, right? One that is a bit more airy, and then I feel the riddle of the Sphinx down in the more the lower regions of our bodies, in the more feminine, one would
Mhm.
say, right? And mysterious parts of our body,
Mhm.
the more unpredictable, some would say animalistic, but it's broader than that for me.
Yeah, and what is interesting to me, because I resonate on that, like, this your image is on top of the other one,
Yeah,
if there would be a space. Yet here at the Sphinx, there are 12 women. There is one woman that is on top of it.
yeah, yes. And so also just to connect that further, what you were feeling like your midline was expanding. When you said that, I could just feel like, oh, yeah, that's nice. And can it really move through? Can it move through all the way
Hmm.
down? So this is the imagery that feels so, just to connect that. That for me, it feels like it's the reflection of a very physical process,
Hmm.
which is also very feminine quality. Um, well, yeah, just the embodiment, the physical, the material world in that sense, right? Um, and at the same time, I'm looking at something that feels like ancient history,
Yeah. It's like we are watching a ritual in a way.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And at that moment, I'm like a little bit at a stalemate. Okay, this is happening, like the image is here. And now what?
This is the point, right, of the seventh sword, the card you pulled for the soul retrieval. It's just this secret something. Because if I look at the image on
Sorry,
top,
I'm laughing so hard. I did truffles yesterday, and like, there's one card I pulled, which was an Egyptian card, Seven Scorpions, which was about really naming the poison of something through which it is expelled. And now I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, seven swords. Interesting. Seven again. Sorry, personal fun part.
all right. Yeah. Yeah, but so also in the image that I shared, is there's something in there that is mysterious to me, So it's interesting also because you bring in this Sphinx, and it makes me think then of the story of Oedipus, right? Who also encounters a Sphinx that he saves the city of Thebes from by answering its riddle. And its riddle was like, I think, what walks on 4 legs in the morning, on 2 legs at noon, and on 3 legs in the evening. And the answer was a human. It's like babies crawling on all fours in early life, 2 legs in adult life, and 3 legs with a stick in old life. And he answered the riddle, dispelling or casting away the Sphinx. And I just find that interesting because of what we said in our introduction as well, or at least what popped up to me, that myth of Oedipus and the Sphinx and is essentially the myth that Freud used as a template, if you will, as a symbol, or more as a sign perhaps than a symbol. His whole psychology was based on that, on seeing seeing this triangle between mom, dad, and child play out on a mythological level, right? Where Oedipus eventually, on his travels, unknowingly kills his own father, the king of Thebes, then defeats the Sphinx and is rewarded and can marry also his own mother, the queen of Thebes. Maybe the myth in itself is less important, but what I said before was just that the feminine, there's something very mysterious about the feminine, right? And what Freud used to say, like he could never understand the woman, right? He could never understand. And again, there's an aspect of this where I feel like, but she will only yield her mysteries to the gentlest, softest touch, not by a masculine energy, right? That is trying to extract from her, trying to find, trying to see, this is what I want to catch it, I want to take it. No, it's not going to yield like that. Really, really requires it will flee, or it will fight, or it will manipulate if it's addressed like that. If the mystery is taken as something that needs to be controlled, if we want to bring structure immediately where there is none, then the secrets of the feminine will not yield. And maybe that's what we were feeling in this imagery and before as well. Just, there's something ungraspable, there's something mysterious in this, right? And then I feel like it's a laying down of arms as well, right? So I think for us to understand, to really get to know this mystery, we need to yield our knowing. We need to yield not our desire for understanding, but we need to become very restful in our own systems. And only then can the feminine reveal herself, like an intuition coming to you when you're doing the most mundane of things, not thinking of any problems in your life, you're just in the shower, and suddenly, whoa, this insight comes. And you feel like your whole life is, that maybe you don't have many people around you, and suddenly you meet this person. Oh wow, this chance meeting, when often when people yield finding a partner, they actually find someone, right? That's just such a common story. So I'm not, I don't want to add more and more symbolism on top of each other, but I'm just trying to um, really
There's a
capture.
part of me that is now like, let's just enter that really gentle touch
Yeah,
and no
exactly.
more words for it.
Yeah.
Mm,
I just wanted to make clear here, oh, this is what is needed.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm. And our whole bodies may become like water, so soft. Skin may become fluid. As the voice drops, our true being, softness, arises. Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
It's interesting that I keep looking at the images that we described earlier, and I just am being shown this as if all the whole mystery is kept in the earth. And it reminds me somewhat of this divine masculine aspect that
mm,
was hiding in a chamber of how would you call that, treasure, a treasury chamber
mm,
in our last soul retrieval. Here too, this feminine mystery is kept almost, I feel like, in the earth, in the belly of the earth. And then the other image on top, it's almost like it couldn't stay there. The feminine, the circle of women, as you described, couldn't stay there. It was just. I need to. I need to
It's
feel it.
nice how you are wording what I am experiencing. As I'm sitting here, coming softer and softer, and almost I got startled a bit because I could feel like I'm dropping down as if I entered a channel which is very wet, almost like a bird channel. Like, oh, where am I going? I have no idea where I'm going. And to trust that I'm going into the dark and I have no idea where I am going, but I am going. So it's nice to hear your words. Oh yeah, this is it. Into the earth. Mm.
Yeah, and there's something about going then deeper into the earth, into these mystery teachings. I feel like we can go into feels very Egyptian then, below the Sphinx, into what also seems like what seems more of a ritual chamber, really, where there's a fire lit, and I see many women, but they all seem to. It's as if they're wearing dresses, but that have like almost, it's almost like wings, or you know what, these in this time, people sometimes jump off a mountain with like a suit that seems
Yeah.
to have wings. So like that, but it's round. It's not straight. Yeah, well, it's round. And white, and it's as if I see them just dancing slowly around this fire, almost quite far away of it. You know, they're, well, then they also need space with this, with these giant garments. I realize, but they're just moving very slowly, almost dancing very sensually. Just yeah, there's no music, but there seems to be music. Just this. It almost relaxes something in my body to just see them do that. Makes something a bit juicier, more alive. Like, oh, the sensuality, this joyous, you know, my mouth getting wet, my whole body relaxing, you know, the wanting to move along. And there is something of sexuality in there too, that as a man I'm looking at these women and then I'm thinking, oh, wow, it's very attractive. It's very, the sensuality is attractive in it, right?
Mhm. Interesting. You know, you are again in a different image than I am, but I can really resonate on what you're saying because for me, as I went down into the earth, I entered sort of a cave, which it's very circular. Like it's imbued with circles, as if there is a circle. Then I have a circular pool, and then a circular space of grass that I'm standing on. And the grass is shaped in like a half moon. Above the pool, there's this waterfall above which you can see a moon as well. And there's this singular woman there when there's a lot of energy around, which is very green, purplish hues that are moving around. It's almost magical, as if it is the healed version of the one we were seeing before, like the woman that's on top, which again, this is also a very sensual woman. Just so soft, drenched in water, as if she's like one with that frequency of water, really bringing that into the field.
It's interesting how this seems to be, it's as if we're looking at the polarity, right? It's like, because I'm also seeing the circles, by the way. So I'm in this ritual room, but it's circular, and the walls have not been made, you know, straight or anything. It's still literally stone,
Mhm.
rock. So also circular in that sense, and they're circular, but they're around a fire, right? And there's many women as opposed to one woman in your image. There's fire and there's water, there's sun and there's moon. There's, it makes me think also of just you know, of conception. You know, there's first there's many sperm and then one egg cell, and then there's um, how is that again? This turning of polarity, maybe it's not so important, but something of both principles being necessary to create. That's the thing what I'm looking for in essence. Right? You need both the fire and the water, the sun and the moon, the, well, in a sense also the masculine and the feminine, but then that's where I'm getting a bit confused and as what we're watching, maybe because I think about it too much. But yeah, it feels like we're looking at a principle of creation, which is perhaps really the mystery of the feminine, right? This principle of creation, or just another symbol for her mystery. But yeah,
Yeah, let us just soften again in that space where we have arrived. New frequency to really tune to that softness we were at before. Hmm. Yeah, just to give names to what I am experiencing when I do that. It's in the space that I am. This woman is like offering me some tea, like a little bench that I can sit on. We're sitting across from one another, and it's an incredibly cosmic woman within her embodiment. Where there's just this deep eye contact, really, without any words yet. I don't know if there will be any. Just to meet another again.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is weird because it's like she has this cup with water, and then at some point she moves. I don't even know how to explain this in words. She moves to a place where she has that cup, and you can see the water as a symbol or representation of information, energy of divine feminine essence. And she grabs a little bit of that water and she pours it down. It goes through this portal and then it enters your image. And that one woman is then sort of imbued with this frequency of divine feminine energy even more. As if she, which I experience as the 13th woman, which where I am with at this moment, is just playing, dancing with them in a different way, from a different perspective, and providing them all that information which is needed to really integrate that frequency in their bodies and embody it even more from a healthy perspective, bridging the lower and higher worlds, so to say.
Yeah. It's funny, my entire image changes. As if I'm looking at a dream and suddenly the dream image just shifts to something completely different. It's not completely different. I just see loads of women dancing around a fire under the moonlight. So now, funnily enough, in my image, both the sun and the moon, or the fire and the moon, are both present at once. Both elements, at least, are both present in the dark. It's nighttime, and they're dancing, and you have these great images in, I think, many ancient traditions, like the Celts again, and of dancing women dancing around a fire in the middle of the night, worshipping the moon around the fire. But I just find it interesting that something just came together. That's really the core of the image.
Mm.
Yeah.
As if something cosmic has aligned with something earthly, and through that alignment,
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of goosebumps. Through that alignment, the true essence of female energy is revealed,
Yes.
which cannot be named nor tamed. It can only be felt, seen, loved, and witnessed
Yeah.
and experienced.
In a ritual, and that's the what we're also seeing here.
Yeah. And
The,
it's such an importance of ritual and community then to come together to create those spaces in which this information can land.
a ritual of dancing and a ritual of pouring tea. It's I like it. It makes me very joyous,
Yeah.
just going through these images and moving along with the energy.
Yeah. Mm. I like this cosmic woman too. If I would give her a name or an archetypal name, it is not her name. It's just more like a representative. Lady Venus would be very appropriate for them. Mm.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm now looking at this image. I'm still standing with her, but as if I am looking from above, from where you are, and as if I am seeing the women dance, and like a mandala is created on the earth. So they are moving in a circular motion through which different circular motions are created, from which different circular motions are created once more, just expanding more and more and more over the entire earth, in a sense, in this ripple effect. But at the epicenter is the moon and the fire, the women or the 12 women from which it originates and imbues more and more.
It's funny. This also makes me think of the of Jesus's apostles. You say that like that in English? Yes.
Apostles, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a word.
Yeah. Okay. Just makes me feel like that. And then 13th woman, the it's almost like the feminine aspect of the Christ consciousness, if you will, which again is perhaps a different name for source. But it's just interesting this for me looking at it as almost like this resurrection chamber that I really associated with Jesus. But then this woman was there who ascended, basically, right? So
Yeah, it's interesting how we glorify this male figure of Jesus, but where is the female representative of that same energy,
yeah.
which would be akin to Mary of Magdalene, yet still it's not the same.
It's not, and it makes me, for me, then the image of Mary, the mother of Jesus, is much more prevalent. And I talked to you 2 days ago. It was a holiday in Belgium,
Yeah.
the
Ah,
ascension
yeah.
of Mary, the ascension of Mary.
Ah,
So basically, very close to that moment or period, but at least in sort of collective ritual around the ascension of the feminine.
It's just nice to see the women weaving as if they're
Yeah.
dancing, and such a beautiful tapestry is woven over the earth, in the earth, in the air. Yeah.
And we're back into very mythological spheres, right? The weaving, women weaving life together, the Moira in Greek mythology, weaving somebody's fate.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Think of the oracles of Delphi as well, in that sense. I don't know why. Just came.
Yeah, it's just all this kind of, it's all these places where the divine feminine is present that I think that we're feeling. And And essentially, that's what all symbols are, right? They're mysteries. That's what a myth is. You look at a myth and you can see, oh, this is what the myth is meaning. And then somebody else comes along, looks at the same thing, and says, oh, but this is what the myth is meaning.
Mm.
And you can have 20, 50, 100 different interpretations, always a slight bit different, but essentially it's a symbol. It can never be exhausted in its depth, it's because it simply connects you to an archetypal energy or force or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I just want to add, we started with two images from which we moved to two different images
Yeah.
that I can really feel in the new image that we are in, as if they are slowly, or they have come together. They have morphed into one, as in first we saw the wounded part, where there was supposed to be a ritual, yet something had happened which knocked it off its course, where the woman who is there as the 13th woman is crying. 12 women are there for a ritual, yet it is not coming. And in the new frequency that we are now aligning ourselves with, it is there that the women, the 13th woman, is there again, able, lovingly, with honor and reverence for her sisters, doing her job, forming or walking her path in Dharma,
Yeah.
through which these 12 women can embody that essence, through which many more women can embody that as well. It's such an expansive. Oh, this is so nice. I like this expansion in my system.
Yes. And I was looking at the first image that I brought in. Seems as if there was an ascension, and essentially this woman was thinking that she couldn't connect anymore to the
Mhm.
divine feminine.
Mhm.
And then later or now, as we look at this combined image where there is the fire and the moon and the water and you know, uh, again, there's no physical 13th woman anymore in my view, but
Mhm.
it's now they can all connect to the energy of the divine feminine,
Mhm.
even if it is invisible. And perhaps what you were saying of this 13th almost etheric woman was already representing that, right?
Mhm.
Just like Jesus is said to have um, left the physical plane, but sometimes he came back and showed himself a little bit for a while, then went back away, you know.
Mhm.
And so it seems to be in this case, almost as a mirror. It feels so wholesome to have a mirror image for this this story that we have in our society about Jesus.
Mhm.
And then I'm filtering all the aspects that I like out of it that feel, yeah, not the dogma and not
True.
the sacrifice
That's
for
it.
all of humanity, you know, that may be in there, but it's not the core. As far as I'm concerned, it's showing of the resurrection miracles, right? But and then having the mirror image with the feminine energy, right, which seemed to have been lost, but it's not.
Yeah.
It
I
descended
just
just well.
I just like being still there with that woman. As you were speaking, I could just see her looking and laughing. Like, so yeah, that's it. Thank you for sharing that. I've never gone away. I have always been there, yet obscured. And I am here now once more to share with you my divine love, my cup which is overflowing, which I give ever so freely to all my sisters and brothers that are present here on the earth. And it is exactly that which I do with such deep love, reverence, for they are all my children, and I love them all equally. Mm.
Yeah, thank you. And again, then here is the mystery, right?
Yeah,
Here is the mystery. If we just soften and slow down, we find that the divine feminine never left.
no, no. Yeah, it's just so funny to see this woman just looking like, yeah, can't really know me. There's
Can't
no, you can't really know me. There is no knowing the divine feminine.
there's
Just
only relate.
feeling and embodying, just being it, through which the divine feminine shines through us all. Mm.
Yeah, truly a communion in a sense as well, right? We have all these imagery for communing with her, and then feeling her.
Mm.
Seems so contradictory to then my male mind, if you will. Just
Same
like
here.
something needs to happen, right? We need to go get a part back. We need to do something. But I think then now, no. The simple being is exactly what needed to be done. Right? That's the
Yeah.
paradox of the whole.
It is in the being that the divine feminine could return.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. This is so weird for also my male mind. Like, well, this is such a nice soul retrieval, yet at the same time, it's confusing. The mystery.
We
Mm.
need to do something.
Yeah. Why are we not doing something? Mm.
We're like moving from symbolic image to symbolic image to symbolic image. Something's happening,
Yeah.
but we're not in control. We're not even there, I feel. We're looking,
Mm.
but we're not just in there as figures, as individuals. It's just
Yeah. But in my body, I am feeling it. I'm
yes, yes,
feeling it coming in, and
yeah, but that is the same for me, but I mean just in the image as I see it.
Mhm.
I'm not dancing along, but I'm
Yeah.
feeling along, yes.
Mhm. Is, is there anything more that like we need to address or to feel? I want to say do, but do we need to be more? Mm.
I don't know, I feel like it was this kind of rose that just opened, this, for anybody listening to this transmission, the transmission that we gave is has opened or connects us to the mystery of the divine feminine.
Mm.
So if you're listening to this, I believe, I feel like this is enough. The transmission of
Mm.
softening into the divine feminine. Yeah.
Oh.
Now,
Mm. So with that said, let's just close up and allow people to bathe in that frequency more in their own time and space.
agreed.
Mm. Mm. So thank you all for who were listening, for being here with us, for feeling with us, for riding those waves of mystery where we have no idea where we are going, yet do trust that we are going somewhere, that a movement may occur at its own pace and time. And if you've come this far, we'd love to know what your experiences were during the soul retrieval and what you have felt that came back in your own being while you were being. So feel free to share them. And with that said, I send you all my love. And for me, it is goodbye.
May peace be with you all.
Mm. Now.
Oh, see you later.